given that Google has now decided that it isn't going to show me more than 400 search results, how do I use its tools most effectively? And while I've always used the date limit, and yes, date limit in Google in any search engine isn't 100% reliable. However, if I do a query and it gets 200,000 search results, of which I'm seeing 400, I want to increase my odds of those 400 being useful for me. And one of those ways of increasing those odds is to use the date limit, because my assumption, and again, this for some searches that may not be the case, but for a lot of the queries that I do anyway, I'm looking for a website, a page that has at least been updated in the last 2 years. I'm assuming something older than that may not be relevant. Whatever works for you, if that's not a good date range, but use something. The whole idea is you're not going to be seeing more than just a tiny fraction of all of the articles or all the materials from a Google search. You want to make sure you're getting the best ones possible. I limit by file type when that's at all possible. The other thing I keep in mind is it matters where you come from when you're on Google. So if I'm doing research that requires some insights from the EU, for example, and I'm based in the US, I'll use a VPN. I use TunnelBear because it's easy and not expensive for the version that I get. So I'll use a virtual private network to come into, for example, the UK version of Google. If I try to go to google.co.uk from the US, while it looks like I'm seeing the UK version, I'm actually getting US search results. So by VPNing over to the UK, then I'm actually seeing, and I do see different search results. So I think of different ways that I can change the search results to refine it as much as possible before Google does its relevance ranking and only shows me 400 of however many I found. And I sort of changed my expectations. I do expectation management on myself as well as for my clients. And I assume I'm not going to find the answer in a Google search result. All I'm going to find is the next place to go, where then I'm going to have to search further, or I'm going to get ideas on a better way to do it. I'm just assuming that every query, every search result is just one more step along the process. And so I try to stay as curious as possible, knowing that the answer isn't probably going to be, glaring red lights. If it were, my client would have found it already, to be honest. So I'm basically thinking differently about Google, not looking at it as anything close to comprehensive or complete, but certainly the next step in an exploration process.